All right, so I just want to quickly reflect on yesterday, but this topic's more really about, it could have been the whole Nutbwallers group if they had to. It would have been awesome. But, as you know, once again, I got to thank Abbas and Ray for actually coming and being able to show up to yesterday's gathering. I know it would have been probably, I mean, it was great. It was great. It was already great enough to, seeing those guys both, even if my boss only had to be there for a short time. And, with if Willie and Robbie both had gone, like it would be us five. And I think honestly it would have been just as great, if not greater, you know what I mean? But just having these two guys to show up, it was very great enough company for the entire gathering yesterday. And I had so much fun. It's not very often that I get like opportunities like this with where I get friends to such gatherings like this, and these days it's really hard doing gatherings like this so often, and just knowing that there's so much going on, especially in my outside life. It's really hard to do so many of these like before. I remember when I was a kid, I used to attend so many of these, and it was just so much fun. Like, especially as a kid, I remember just being in so many of them. You know what I mean? And that's just what my life was. Just, as a kid, obviously, we're all about joy and fun and just being a kid. And a kid at heart, right? Yesterday, having a boss and Ray, even if it was just them two, it still made like a really fun it still made my time at the gathering still so much fun, even if it was just those guys. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I could have had the entire Nutbwallers group if I had to, right? Like it would have been great if Russ went, but he gets out like he gets out like mid-afternoon, and by the time he gets out, and he would still need time to prepare and shower and all that. And by the time he's ready, the party would have already been over. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been great to see Dewey too, but the problem is I don't think he's really into certain kinds of food. He's really picky on certain food selections and all that. And in this case, it's mainly Filipino food. So I'm not sure if he's really into that. From what I remember, I think he's not really into it. And obviously I know the situation with Julio and why he wasn't able to make it, and and the other situation that pretty much caused that made Robbie change his mind, and to not being able to go anymore, right? Neil not able to go, had something going on that day. Who else did I miss? Well, Carlos, he always has weekend plans, so he's never really available on Saturdays unless you got a plan with him in advance. Some Saturdays he will be available, some Saturdays he won't, but unless it's like a Sunday morning, like a really early morning, well, really the only time is breakfast. So, but anyhow, it would have been really awesome to see the whole Nutbwallers group in that gathering. I can just only imagine like a once in a lifetime opportunity, kind of like if there was, I like to make this a topic one time, another what if kind of topic, like a hypothetical. and this will be like a Nutballers topic, like a next podcast I will do with, you know, with any of my other Nutballer friends. You know, it could be Neil, could be Abbas, could be Julio, could be Russ, could be anyone. So I could ask, hey, I think the next one would be what would be a really good travel destination for the entire Nutballers group. I'm talking about as a whole. You know what I mean? So that would be good to come up with. But yeah, man, I just thought I wanted to quickly reflect on this, man. Like, to see Ray and Abbas, even if Abbas was only there for a couple of hours. I know I had to leave shortly to take care of something at home real quick and come back. And we still have time to do this, to get pictures at the photo booth. And as you can see it right here, I did a collage edit that shows one of the pictures, like a group picture at the table, and and then the other three are basically from the photo booth. It's funny how I just had my phone right there, because I remember like Abbas kept bringing up the time that it was me, or actually it was Abbas at Robbie's place, and I don't remember if it was just him and it was just them two, or if Chris was there. But I remember, I guess they were doing a joke on me or whatever, and Abbas kept hanging up, and he just hung up, and I got pissed, and I hung up bad, and I don't know if he said like if I just like slammed my phone or whatever, but this is what it came down to. I held a display phone and really did that pose, because one, I'm always told I'm on my phone all the time. And two, basically when you see a boss pointing at me, it's because of that one joke that pissed me off, that when he hung up, I like hung up so hard that it all sucked. And I think there was another time too that he said that I like threw my phone down or so. I think the phones that we had, or at least what I had at the time, I think it was like a flip phone. So yeah, it was just those days, man. But I thought it was just so much fun, dude. No doubt. Like, it's not very often, like I said, that we have gatherings like this. But I could just only imagine having an entire Nutballers group. Especially guys like Russ, who love to say hi to people. Like, let's just say this about Russ: he loves to say hi to the entire public. And I don't have a problem with him saying hi to anyone, but sometimes for some people they don't really take interest into that. It's like hi, but sometimes he'll be out there. I mean, Russ loves saying hi to people. I've known that about him since we met in Cypress College. He's already done that even when we met. So I mean, there's really nothing wrong with that, but I'm not sure if some people, like even just strangers or just people passing by, would take kindly to that. And I'm not saying this like to tell Russ to limit himself, but it's just everybody's different. Some people are not really into that, but nevertheless, I think having Russ being as talkative as he is, or even if you have Carlos, the boss, Julio, Robbie, it'll definitely feel like a Nutballers vibe. But mixing in with the other people, the relatives in the gathering, I still think it'll make so much like a really, really fun. But it might be crazy. Like I know I had a cousin out there I haven't talked to in a long time, and he just met a boss, and we were talking NBA and all that. But when you have a whole group, like I think pretty much you would have to have a whole table. But it would. I think most of the time it would be like a Nutballers related, like it would just be like more a Nutballers vibe. That's because I have the whole group in the party. But You know, I know I've not really been into groups for a while, but at least I could say, I'll admit it, if I had this whole group, it would have been so awesome. Probably even more awesome. It might just cause so many ups and downs in that whole thing. There's just so many slip-ups or whatever. But in the end, I think it would be great to see that happen. But just who knows when we'll have another gathering like this. I know I haven't really not. The hell, even try to play Anastasia under, and Cecilia. Hell, even put Mari and Sam. Nah. Well, nah. I think just Cecilia and Anastasia will be fine. But when you have Mari and Sam in there too, I don't know. It might just be something different. But anyways, yeah. Who knows when I'll have another gathering, man. So I just thought I'd touch briefly on this as I reflect on what happened and just what if, what if we had this whole Nutbwallers group and this party? And I think, it would bring some nostalgia, right? And it would definitely bring nostalgia. But yeah, man, this is all I gotta say, and I just want to know what you guys think. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.